This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
There he is, the man, the myth, the legend. That is Omar Kelly, baby. And the EJDConstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. How are you doing, sir? Good afternoon.
I'm good. I'm blessed to have seen Mike Pouncey and have seen his ridiculous weight loss. Mike was out at practice today. No, he cannot help the Dolphins at offensive line. Mike looks about 220 pounds right now.
Nice.
I'm jealous. It's impressive. I
wish I was 220.
Yeah. No, I'm not 220, but
220.
Like I got like 8 more pounds to go. I'm not far from it. I just need some time to actually work out. But Mike has shown they need to do an offensive line program of how to lose weight, because offensive linemen right now, they've been killing the game in terms of weight loss.
Yeah, I was surprised with Newton from the Cowboys, considering all the weed that he traffics. He got really skinny too, which you would.
I think he had the gastric bypass surgery.
Yeah, but you would figure with all that weed he's trafficking, he'd be hungry all the time. So I'm really impressed. Now the real question is, was Pouncey wearing a Free Hernandez hat? Because really,
stop
it. Okay, I'm just saying you can't free him anymore.
There's no Free Hernandez. Pouncey's a good dude, man. One of my favorite Dolphins. A perfect example. He's got that alpha male gene, man. And
yes, he does. Both of
them do. Those things are hard. Those things are hard to find, and when you find it, you got to hold on to it. I mean, Jarvis had the alpha male gene too, and unfortunately, it just made Joe Philbin nervous. Joe Philbin a little queasy. It wasn't. But it was actually Adam Gase, who loved alpha males, who actually banished both of the players.
Yeah. Well, Adam Gase is a head case in himself. He must have been enjoying watching Sam Darnold last night. Look comfortable and happy being away from Crazy Eyes Gase.
Listen. Any quarterback that Adam Gase touches blows up the next year. And I can't even fault Gase for it, because I think his touch, his leadership, his mentorship has helped all the quarterbacks get to where they are when they move away from him. But snake bitten.
While they're with him, he's a cancer, is what you're saying? You want to admit that?
I'm not even saying that. Gase got in his own way. Gase was his own worst enemy because of his ego. And I said this, and he used to hate when I said this. He hated when I said this. I was like, yeah, you're going to be a good coach when you mature, when you actually, learn from your mistakes and kind of grow up. And, it didn't happen.
That's not going to happen. Yeah, that's not going to happen. That's that dude that's just going to keep doing what he's doing. And you know what? He'll keep getting exposed for a guy you don't want around your players. Unfortunately, he would
have been here. He would have been here for an extra season if his team hadn't quit on him and didn't want him to get fired.
Well, he started social distancing before social distancing was the thing. I mean, that guy's that I will say he's a trendsetter. Like, he was like showing the world, look, this is what's going to happen in the future. See how everybody stays away from me and I'm all by myself on the sidelines? You're all going to be just like that coming up soon. See? And he was showing us a sign of things to come. I don't know if you realize that.
No.
But he is Mr. Social Distance. You met the Free Hernandez hat man. You're on a roll today, man. It's a beautiful thing. All right. So I know that I talked to Joe yesterday. They don't allow. Apparently, you only see stretching. So, any word on any real changes on the line?
It's a big. I mean, I think I know what the changes are. I'm not going to say. I don't think it'll be status quo in terms of what you've seen previously, but it's certainly not what I expected. I will say this. I think Austin Jackson is going to stay at the left tackle spot, and I think, in my opinion, he should get a 2-3 game audition to see whether or not he can cut it at left tackle. If not, let's move him to left guard and keep it moving.
I get a feeling that it's shorter than that.
It might be short. It might be shorter than that.
Flo doesn't call out guys, and when he called them out this week, I was like, you're on double secret probation. And I think I think it's by the second half of this game.
I think he's probably got two. I think he probably's got two. Because remember, let's excuse last week's performance with COVID. We don't know. We don't know. All these guys come back and they say, I'm fine. We don't know.
That's actually really true. That's a good point.
We don't know. I mean, hell, it took me I didn't catch COVID, but I caught a flu from going to Chicago, and man, I was a wreck for 2 weeks. A wreck. So I couldn't even imagine going out there performing as an offensive lineman, feeling not up to my health. But that's not even the play. Everybody's on Jesse Davis's case, and I'm a card-carrying member of the Jesse Davis fan club. I'm a big believer in Jesse Davis. I will say this: nobody in South Florida has beaten themselves up more over what has happened to Tua than Jesse Davis has.
He should. He should have slept all week.
Yeah, sure. And he'll get an opportunity to redeem himself. I don't know where, but he'll get an opportunity to redeem himself. And I'm curious to see how he performs with that knee injury. Because as I've said to you months ago, that thing should have been cleaned out after OTAs. And then we would be right back at the regular season, and we see where Jesse Davis is. You didn't do that. Now you got to deal with the consequences, which we all knew what the consequences were going to be. A declining Jesse Davis.
Yeah. No, there's no doubt about that. Now, if he is on double secret probation, and it's this game, are you looking at Greg Little as the guy that they're going to? Because the one thing I don't like is we had Keith Sims on earlier in the week, and I agree with him. The musical chairs also has to stop. You have to allow these young men whatever you think they are. Man, dude, leave them there and find out if they can actually play there. Obviously, they're going to make mistakes. They're a bunch of rookies or a bunch of young guys.
I don't like how people are saying this musical chairs or everybody's playing everywhere. That's not the case, and that has not been ever the case with any of these rookies. I even called Flores out on it, and he addressed it. All of the rookies have become starters, they only played in practice at one position throughout their entire career. Now, Solomon Kinley and Robert Hunt, yes, they were moved to new spots, but it's not like they were moved to new spots and worked at other spots. No,
but Eichenberg's been moved too.
No, Eichenberg is the only guy Eichenberg is the first during Brian Flores' era of all his rookies who has played multiple positions. And the way Flores justifies it and explains it is he's so technically sound. We know he's in our top 5. We're just trying to really figure out what is the right spot for him. Where do we need him? Initially, they thought that, hey, we might need him to replace Solomon Kinley. Solomon Kinley is your number 5 or 6. You can figure it out whichever way you want to. You could put Jesse wherever you want to. Solomon Kinley's still your number 5 or 6. And they thought initially Liam might start at left guard and, play well with Austin Jackson, and you'd have a good left side tandem, but it didn't pan out that way because of the injuries that he had. But what he's shown you in the first 2 games is that he's a starter. Right now, I would say he's probably offensive lineman number 2 or 3. So, and talking to him this week, the head is sound. Technically savvy. Everybody always talks about how technically savvy he is. It doesn't necessarily show poorly on the film, except for that one play where Solomon Kinley apparently stepped on his foot and allowed the worst sack I've ever seen in NFL history. I've never seen an offensive lineman get pancaked before that.
He didn't get pancaked. He got tripped. Stop saying that.
It looked like a damn pancake to me.
No, it did not. Go look at the damn. Don't do that to the kid. He got stepped on, dude. He lost his balance.
He lost his balance while the defensive lineman was pushing him to the ground. What
He had a fat ass. He had a fat ass standing on his foot, bro.
What you want me to do, man?
You have a 500-pound fat ass standing on your foot, and you're gonna fall, bro. Come on. Listen, have some heart for the kid, bro. It's not his fault. He didn't get pancaked.
He got pancaked. I'm sorry.
Got tripped, and then they ran him over.
So he's gonna start. Where he's gonna start, your most important position should be your right tackle spot. So I'm they're not moving Austin Jackson. I think he's gonna get. I would be shocked if they did. And then Greg Little is probably the replacement if something does happen to Austin Jackson. If he struggles again, then you just say, okay, Greg Little, this is your chance to prove it. Some got happened, bro. Some got happened. And I always bring up the unicorns because unicorns is the best line that the Dolphins have had probably since Keith Sims and no Jamie Nails and that line.
Yeah, baby, Jamie.
That line that just destroyed people for Ricky Williams' 1,800-yard season. But remember the Unicorns. There was an October 11th game, a loss to Tennessee Titans, where injured guys were filling in. Dallas Thomas and Billy Turner, and they were absolutely obliterated and lost their jobs the next day.
I remember.
And from that point, that became the birth of the Unicorns. And they created a dominant, forceful line. And I think part of the reason is because a lot of the guys who were there who maybe thought they had some job security, like a Billy Turner and a Dallas Thomas and a Jamil Douglas, who all had prominent draft status.
And by the way, little did they know that was the best thing that happened to most of those guys, because they actually went on to actually play their best football for somebody else.
That's correct. There's some validity to that. There's
absolutely some validity. Chris Carter thanks Buddy Ryan for cutting his ass from the Eagles because of the alcohol issue. And that's what forced him to face his alcohol demons and then go on to have a Hall of Fame career with Minnesota.
I still think cutting Billy Turner. I still think cutting
moment is your best moment that leads to your better moments. You know what I'm saying?
I still think cutting Billy Turner was a mistake, but I'm okay with what has been the outcome. He's established himself as a quality NFL starter, but he should be an NFL starter for the Dolphins.
But he wasn't saving anybody's ass even if he stayed here, because there were still other problems anyway.
No. You know what Miami should have done? You know what Miami should have done this offseason? What they should have done is they should have brought back just Jawan James. And they should have signed he's playing for the Jets right now, Morgan Moses.
Oh, that's who I liked over Jawan James in the draft.
Same here.
And that year when they took James, I was like, damn, I like Morgan Moses a little bit more. Yeah. And he's been the better player, actually.
He is. They should have signed Morgan Moses. They really should have signed Morgan Moses. But
you touched on something that I talked about earlier in the week. It sounded great in theory that you draft all these guys and you want to develop them. But in hindsight, my boy Chris Greer and Brian Flores, my two guys, they have to now take a step back. I doubt they'll admit it to any of you guys.
Oh, they fucked up.
They messed up. They put a whole bunch of youth in front of an injury-prone quarterback, and that what I said is it reminds me of Andrew Luck. That you go and draft Andrew Luck, who's a tree trunk, but yet you put shit in front of him, and the guy just gets killed every year.
Football.
And
quits football.
And he quits football. Exactly. Now, this kid may not want to quit football, but you're going to actually push his ass out of the game.
No, I think if you bring him back too soon and he struggles, and if you bring him back before you fix that offensive line, you're potentially going to break him and do damage that cannot be repaired.
Maybe.
And that's you know how much I believe in Tua. The durability now does concern me. I mean, we're going 3 years with 3 injuries. That your quarterbacks are going to get hit. They are.
Yeah.
And
he's not a guy that can take a lot of hits, bro.
I knew this when they drafted him.
It's a small lottery. It's a small lottery, and it's a sure thing.
Oh,
You're
look
going
at
to
Carson Wentz and Big Ben. Look at Carson Wentz and
Right.
Big Ben and Ryan Fitzpatrick, and you get and Dak Prescott. You can name them. I'm sorry, but the list of teams that won't play at least 3 games without their starting quarterback in the NFL, we should count that up because it's going to be a very small list.
Yeah.
But my thought process is now I can't go into every season expecting to miss Tua for a month.
No, that you can't miss your quarterback. No. They had to build, and I would go farther than you. They had to go buy Tunney. They had to go buy the elite linemen. If you're going to put Tua there, okay, you need to go buy elite linemen because that kid cannot. He's not a young Big Ben.
I don't believe you. I don't agree. I don't think you needed an elite lineman. I think you needed this team. This team needs 2 veterans because I think what's happening at the left tackle spot. Because I'm sorry, Austin Jackson did not play this bad last year, and I think part of the reason he didn't play this bad was because Eric Flowers was holding his hand the whole time.
Right.
And now that you don't have Eric Flowers to hold his hand and walk him through what's coming and tell him his assignment and be there to play as a tandem and a unit, it's a shit show. It is a disaster. And he's your worst performing offensive lineman.
I know.
And that's your left tackle. He goes against the big boy every snap.
Mm-hmm.
And 4 or 5 bad snaps a game can ruin your game.
Yeah.
So
Brissett got banged up in that game.
Yeah.
So, he got trucked. He got a Malachi crunch.
It was 2 Olay blocks in the 4th quarter that got him fucked up.
Yeah.
It was bad. It was, and by Austin Jackson. And
right.
You're like 4th quarter, like they're pass rushing. What did you not think he was coming?
Right. No, they already know what you are. You're their weakness.
Yeah.
So there's no doubt about that. As for Tua, I think you're thinking that they're going to slow walk this like they've done with everything else, right? I think because you were talking about if you don't fix the line before he comes back, will they slow walk this, you think? Or are they because I don't believe he's back next week.
No,
I
don't think he's back next week. And I honestly wouldn't. I think it's the right approach is Jacksonville. Like, I'm sorry.
Right. Yes.
If you disagree, he'd have to come out here and he'd have to absolutely obliterate Jacoby Brissett, or Jacoby would have to look horrible. But Jacksonville is the right approach. You don't want to put him out there against Tampa. I'm sorry.
No,
it's a huge game, but like, is that really what you want to do for him?
Not now. No. And what you said is true, because I talked about it yesterday. The line has to now feel some heat and say, hey, we can't keep getting our quarterbacks. We got to find a way to play better. And that line over the next couple of weeks needs to improve, because if you're going to put that kid back there behind those guys again, this isn't going to last long.
Win, lose, or draw, I'm running 30 times a game. And I'm giving Austin Jackson, you got a 2-game trial. After that, we're moving you to left guard. So you decide what you want to be in this league. And there's no shame in going to another position, but we got to figure out if you're a left tackle or not. So, we'll see. We'll soon see.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I haven't given up on any of these young guys, but you got to start finding a way to play a little better. Now, here's the question I have for you, and I know Eric Rowe is looking for this challenge. How in the F do you slow down Darren Waller? I mean, I'm thinking kind of bracketing him with Holland and Rowe or something.
No, have Rowe do what he does and put a safety in front of him, and put a safety behind him, and put a safety a linebacker in front of him. Bracket him. Darren Waller, say everybody do what the Patriots do. Everybody else you can beat me, but Waller you cannot. The only problem with that is you're exposing yourself a little bit with Henry Ruggs, and I haven't figured out exactly what the best approach to that is. You got Byron Jones, who's your fastest cornerback, but then you got Xavier, who's Xavier. Do you want to? But Xavier, putting Xavier versus a speed guy is not exactly the ideal situation. You want to put
the Edwards guy. The Edwards guy is good too.
Yeah,
and
you want to put Xavier. You
I
want
put
to
X
put
on him.
Xavier versus a guy who's going to get volume on shorter passes, and maybe the pass isn't going to be perfectly placed. With Ruggs, it's deep balls.
Yes.
It ain't nothing but deep balls. So,
but it's deep balls, and him and Carr aren't perfect yet. That's the good thing.
yeah,
Actually, they don't have great chemistry.
Remember, Brandon Jones got roasted last year by Nelson Aguilar. So
yeah, of course, yeah. But Nelson, they don't have to deal with Nelson Aguilar this week.
I mean, Henry Ruggs might be faster.
But Aguilar is a much better route runner. He's a more polished receiver right now. But I'm with you. I like X to be on Edwards, because that big kid, that's the kid they went to in the fourth quarter last week to win that game. In the clutch moments, they went to Edwards. He had like 80 yards in those 4 receptions, towards the end, and they were all key moments when he caught those balls. So I would put X on Edwards and then put Byron Jones on Ruggs, and then bracket, but I'd bracket with the 2 safeties, not a linebacker. I'd bracket with Rowe in front and Holland over the top.
I'm not creating space for him because that's how he beat you last year.
Yeah,
on the jump ball.
Definitely.
I'm just letting Rowe man to man, with a safety over the top or a linebacker in the zone.
Right.
We'll see what happens. It's I think the key, considering how banged up their offensive line is to get pressure on Derek Carr and sort of create problems for him. I mean, they basically got 2 starters on their offensive line right now. So, as bad as you think the Miami Dolphins offensive line is, and they're bad, they are bad.
Yes.
The Raiders have a little bit worse situation going on. They're going to have 2 backup guards in there. One of them, you didn't even survive your first round of cuts. Here, he's starting for the Raiders. And then, they got a rookie out there, Leatherwood, who's been okay so far. But, he's rookies. This is a perfect game for Jalen Phillips. And this is what I don't understand. Why not just have Jalen Phillips on 3rd down with his hand in the ground? Right now, if he's struggling to get everything,
yes, I see what you're saying. Yes,
if he's struggling to get everything that he needs to get, I'm sorry, have Agba work the other side and just allow Jalen Phillips to put his hand on the ground. Agba at least knows a little bit more of the defense. He's not going to drop back in coverage and help you, but let's be real about it. You're not having Jalen Phillips drop back in coverage either. Not really. And right now, Andrew Van Ginkel, like him, he's not giving you nothing. He's not giving you anything.
Yeah. He's been quiet so far this year. Well, I mean, it's 2 games, so I'm not.
Yeah.
Again, not going to go crazy. It's only 2 games. I see nobody in the Sentinel picked them to win. So you got you ended up picking the Raiders too. So I saw everybody's Feskis and Hyde and all of you picked. Everybody picked the Raiders.
As I wrote in my commentary, I can't pick you anymore until you fix this offensive line. I can't. I in good conscience, I can't pick you anymore. Doesn't matter who you play. I'm not picking you against Jacksonville if this O-line isn't fixed because Lord have mercy, you can't protect the quarterback for 2 seconds. What are you going to do offensively?
Crazy. All right, we will talk on Sunday, my friend. You going to Vegas? You flying out?
I'm grounded, baby. I'm grounded. My first road game is Tampa, and that's because I could drive it.
Until they allow you guys into the locker room, it's you're not really gaining much except watching from the press box.
I mean, there are things you miss. I agree with you. The locker room is big deal. While they're giving you a crap load of ridiculous players right now, and it's more than you get in the locker room. I prefer my opportunity to go talk to a Jesse Davis privately one-on-one.
Of course.
And no quotes.
Right.
And go talk to find out where Noah Igbenogany is. Mentally. No pat out. I miss that. By the
way, you're not the only one. We all want to find out where he is, because he's on a milk carton somewhere. So I don't know.
Let it be, man. Let it be. We're the kid has talent.
Yeah.
He's not putting it together. There's something that's and remember Jason Allen? He makes me think about Jason Allen a lot. and he's smart. So it's not a Jason Allen situation. You know, Jason Allen was.
That's what I was going to tell you. Yes, I was going to tell you that. Yeah,
he's not a dummy. He's not dumb. So it's just the technical. Remember, he was a receiver. The technical side of the position is not clicking.
Right.
And understand, he's not active because they've had to have Jamal Perry active. Now they can only keep Jamal Perry active for one more game unless they put him on a 53-man roster. That means if Noah wants to play, he's going to have to be a good gunner. And I think the kid can be a good gunner. I think he's got some potential there. Noah has everything athletically he needs to be successful. It's just not clicking here for some reason. And the question is, how do you utilize him if it's not clicking technically for him?
No, you can't. You can't trust him right now. And that's the problem. They're having problems with that.
If something happened to Xavier or something happened to Byron, I'd go with Nick Needham first. But I'd be right there. It'd be open competition. And I like Nick, superstar. I trust Nick. I believe in Nick. But Nick doesn't have Nick is missing 40% of the athleticism that Noah has.
All right, so what Omar's telling you is that Albert Wilson has about another week left on the roster. When they activate Jamal Perry, they got to cut him.
Are you serious? Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Albert Wilson, he has not shown up the first 2 weeks, but he's much better than the 5'6" receiver who is now on one leg. Let's just be real about it.
All right, we will talk to you on Sunday.
One of them could actually be used as a receiver. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. All right.
Much love, brother.
All right, talk to you later.
This is the Big O Show.